Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back on Fuzz. And today I've got another collection update for you guys. I'll be going over all the movies I added to my collection on Blu-ray and 4K over the last month since my last collection update video. Not including, of course, the new pickups I already discussed in other recent videos during this same time frame. So as I usually like to do with these collection update videos, I'll be going over all my new Blu-ray pickups first, and then I'll move on to my new 4K pickups. And I only have like maybe a handful of new 4Ks this time, but among those are a couple limited edition box sets that I'm really excited to show you guys and give you my thoughts on. So I'll get to my update here in just a moment, but before we do that, we do have a couple new Fuzz Club members that I want to give a quick shout out to. First off, Captain Trips 19 recently became a Fuzz Club member. Captain Trips, thank you so much for your extra support of the channel. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your comments as well, and look forward to chatting with you more moving forward. So thank you so much. And then I also have kind of an extra special Fuzz Club member that I want to give a shout out to. My dad, who we'll call Doug, recently became a Fuzz Club member. Dad, thank you so much for your support. You know it means the world to me. My dad collects movies on physical media as well, and we're always sharing recommendations with each other and information about upcoming releases. So Dad, it's great to have you here as part of the community. Thank you so much. And if any of you out there would like to know more about the Fuzz Club, there is a link in the description below. You can click on that or just click on the join button below and it'll bring up all the membership information for you. All right, so without any further ado, let's get into the collection update here and rock it. All right, so let's start off with the new Blu-rays I added to my collection in the last month. I've got a couple Jean-Claude Van Damme films here that I picked up in anticipation of a Van Damme top 10 list video that I plan on doing in the very near future, probably within the next couple weeks. I know we've got Time Cop coming out on 4K, I think next week. And I'm really looking forward to that one too. It kind of got me in the mood for some Van Dammage. So I've been rewatching some Van Damme movies in preparation for Time Cop's release on 4K and in preparation for my list video that I'm working on. And I knew that if I was going to do a Van Damme video that I probably needed to get this one movie in my collection that I didn't have and that I'd never seen, but that a lot of Van Damme fans seem to like. And I'm talking about Street Fighter from 1994. I had never seen this one before, and I think I'd avoided this one in the past because it had such a low like IMDb rating, and I just assumed it was a bad movie. I think it's like a 4 out of 10 on IMDb, which is pretty bad, and so I just kind of assumed it wasn't going to be very good. But then over the last couple years, I've noticed a few other Van Damme fans really talking this one up as kind of a guilty pleasure. Right? So Van Damme fans seem to dig this one, or at least some of the ones that I've talked to seem to appreciate this one. So I thought I'd give it a try. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast watching this one. It is cheesy, it's really over the top and kind of silly, but I just had a lot of fun with this one. It was a pleasant surprise. I ended up enjoying this one more than I thought I would. So yeah, I just had a blast with this one. So Street Fighter. And then the other Van Damme film I picked up, I haven't had a chance to watch this one yet, but it kind of intrigued me, and I'm talking about Replicant here from 2001. Have any of you guys seen this one, you Van Damme fans out there? Any thoughts on this one? Is this one any good, or is it crap? Definitely feel free to leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys. So yeah, not much to say about Replicant here. I don't know if it's any good or not, but it looked like it might be something that I'd be interested in. So I thought I'd give it a shot. So yeah, Replicant. All right, and next up, I added a Charles Bronson film to my collection that I'd never seen before. From 1974, Mr. Majestic. Got a Kino Lorber Blu-ray release here. And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I am looking forward to checking this out. The story looked like something I'd be interested in, so I thought I'd give it a shot. The funny thing about Bronson is that I've been bit by bit expanding my Bronson collection over the last few months. but I've got like 3 or 4 titles I still haven't had a chance to watch yet that were blind buys for me. So the good news is my Bronson collection is growing. The bad news is I still have to play a little catch up here and make sure I watch all of these releases that I've been buying. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Bronson fans, what do you think of Mr. Majestic here? Where does this rank among Bronson titles for you? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this if you guys have seen this one. So yeah, Mr. Majestic. And then next up, I have a couple heist films. I'm always looking to add more heist films to my collection. I love that subgenre of films. Heist films are awesome. I never get tired of them. And what was interesting about this particular round of heist films that I picked up was that I discovered them in a kind of an unconventional way from what I usually would, right? I think I was watching, I think it was one of the Nicolas Cage heist movies. I think it might have been The Trust. And I just, you know, I popped in the Blu-ray that I had bought not that long ago, and it was a blind buy, so I thought I'd check it out. And I just pop in my Blu-ray, and, you know, some of these old Blu-rays, they used to have tons of trailers and previews at the beginning of the Blu-rays, right? And it used to drive us nuts, right? None of us really enjoyed watching those trailers at the beginning of Blu-rays. We'd always, if you're anything like me, you just skip to the main menu or you know, chapter skip to get past the previews. But for some reason, this one night I had popped in the Blu-ray and the previews started playing, and I went off to the kitchen while it was playing to go get some food or something. And I come back and I sit down and I actually start watching these previews, which is something I almost never do. I saw a couple films and I just kind of got sucked into them. I was like, these look actually like they might be kind of fun. Maybe I should check them out. So this is one of the rare times where I was actually watching previews on a Blu-ray and then immediately went to Amazon and purchased those titles. So one of those films that kind of suckered me in with the previews here was American Heist, starring Hayden Christensen and Adrian Brody. This looked like it might be a lot of fun. It looked fairly hard-hitting, and yeah, it just looked like something I would really enjoy. The trailer got me on this one. I'll fully admit it. So I am looking forward to checking this out. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You Heist Flick fans out there, have any of you guys seen this one? Can you give me any input on this one? Is it any good? Let me know in the comments below. And then the other heist film I picked up from watching those previews was just called Heist, Robert De Niro. You know, I had been aware of this one, but I had never seen any kind of like trailer for it, so I didn't know if it was any good or not. I had kind of avoided it, you know, because I don't usually get into a lot of like later career Robert De Niro. These days, he just doesn't do a whole lot for me. But I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, actually, that looks fairly decent. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I did have a chance to watch this one, and I did enjoy it. I mean, it's nothing amazing, but it was decent for, you know, an evening's worth of entertainment. If you're into heist films, it's at least worth checking out, I think. I certainly don't regret adding this to my collection. So I had fun with it. Not the most amazing heist film I've ever seen, but I did have fun with it. So yeah, Heist. And then also in the heist flick genre, I picked up The Real McCoy. And what year is this? This is 1993. Kim Basinger and Val Kilmer, which is the main reason I picked this up, aside from it being a heist flick. And I had seen this one like many years ago once. I think I just saw it once many years ago, so I didn't remember it very well. But I had fun with this. You know, like I said, I just love heist flicks. So usually I'm pretty open to checking out different kinds of heist flicks. But the other main reason I got this one is because I've been preparing for my Val Kilmer tribute / list video, and I wanted to add this to my collection before I did that video. I wanted to rewatch this one before I finalized that video. So I've been on a bit of a Val Kilmer kick lately in preparation for this Val Kilmer list video. The only reason I didn't make the video sooner is because I was waiting for Tombstone to come out on 4K, which it did this week. I'm getting ahead of myself here. We'll get to that here momentarily. But yeah, I had a lot of fun revisiting this one. It's a fun movie. It's not the most amazing heist flick ever, but it's still fun for what it is, and I hadn't seen the film in a long time. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and I felt like it was a fairly worthy addition to my not only my high split collection, but also my Val Kilmer collection. And you got Terrence Stamp in this as well, which I always like Terrence Stamp whenever he shows up in anything. So he's really good in this as well. Just a solid cast. And yeah, just a fun film. So The Real McCoy. And then moving right along here, I've got a couple more Val Kilmer titles that I picked up in preparation for this Val Kilmer video I'm working on, which I think will probably be my next video. I think that's probably going to be the next video I release after this one. So be on the lookout for that. But this one, well, here, let's say Mindhunters from, what year is this? 2004. So Mindhunters. You got Val Kilmer in this. You do have Christian Slater in this. You got LL Cool J. This one was just okay. I have to admit, this was a blind buy. I had never even heard of this movie before until I started kind of researching Val Kilmer's roles. But this looked like it would be something I might be interested in, right? The story sounded like something I might be interested in. And, it was a fairly entertaining movie, but it wasn't that great, if I'm being completely honest. This isn't going to appear on my Val Kilmer top 10. I can save you the suspense on that right now. But it was a fairly interesting little curiosity here. The thing about Val Kilmer's presence in this film is that he's probably only in the film for like less than 10 minutes. I think Christian Slater gets more screen time than him. So yeah, he's not like a heavy presence in the film. I mean, it's an okay little role for him, but really this is more LL Cool J's movie. He's kind of like the main character of the film. I mean, it is kind of like an ensemble cast, but LL Cool J is kind of like the lead, or he kind of emerges as kind of the lead character in the film. So it's really more of a vehicle for him than it was for, Val Kilmer or Christian Slater. Anyway, this is this was mildly entertaining. It's not a great film, but it wasn't like totally horrible either. It was mildly entertaining. If it weren't for Val Kilmer, I'm not sure I would ever really add this to my collection. But I've got it now, so it can just sit there on the shelf alongside my other Val Kilmer titles indefinitely. So yeah, Mindhunters, definitely not a great film by any stretch, but also not a total waste of time either. So yeah, it was worth checking out, but I don't know how many times I'll actually watch this again. I don't know, I could see myself maybe watching it one other time in my life, but this is definitely not a film that I'm going to be returning to very often. So Mindhunters. All right, and then another Val Kilmer film that I picked up here that I had never seen. It's called Kill the Irishman, and this was from 2011. And it's kind of like a Goodfellas style gangster flick, right? The lead role is Ray Stevenson, who I'm not even familiar with the actor until I saw this. I don't think I've seen him in anything, or if I have seen him in anything before, I wasn't aware of it. Right, so a guy named Ray Stevenson. This was the first thing I can ever remember seeing him in, and he was all right in this. He was fairly decent, but it's really the supporting cast that makes this film shine. You got Vincent D'Onofrio, you got, of course, Val Kilmer, and then Christopher Walken's in this as well. So you got some pretty good bona fides in this film. Val Kilmer's role is not a huge role, but it's he shows up throughout the movie, and he's also the one narrating the story of the movie. Val Kilmer's character is narrating the movie, so you do get a little bit more Val in this one than say Mindhunters. But yeah, it was worth a watch. Not the kind of movie I would return to very often, but I did enjoy it for what it was. It was an entertaining film, and if you like gangster flicks, then this is one you should maybe check out, because if you're a fan of like Goodfellas or Casino or anything like that, yeah, I think this is one that's definitely worth checking out. I don't know if I could recommend buying it. That's kind of your own mileage may vary on that as to whether or not this is something that you'd want to actually own in your collection. But I think it gets like a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, so it's got a fairly decent score. But of course, it's not anywhere near as good as something like Goodfellas, but it is along those same lines. If you like those types of movies, then you might get a kick out of this one. So yeah, Kill the Irishman. And then for my last Blu-ray this month, I also picked up Passenger 57, 1992 film here. Great little action film with Wesley Snipes. And now this is a film I've seen quite a few times, probably a handful of times over the years. And it's it's a great, 90s action flick. You can't go wrong with 90s action flicks, right? And this is a title that I had been meaning to add to my collection for a few years now. I just hadn't gotten around to it, but finally did. And I had a reason for adding this to my collection at this time. I found myself getting in the mood to maybe check out some Wesley Snipes movies. And my motivations for adding this Wesley Snipes vehicle to my collection at this time will become clear here in just a moment as we get into the 4K releases. But yeah, I had a lot of fun revisiting this one. I hadn't seen it for quite a few years. I think it had probably been maybe 10 or 15 years since I had seen this film, maybe even longer. I'm not sure, but it was fun coming back to it. I remembered everything. It's like it all came back to me like I just watched it yesterday, but it had actually been some time. So had a lot of fun returning to this one. So yeah, Passenger 57. By the way, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, do me a favor and please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, don't forget to activate that notification bell as well so you can be alerted when I'm posting videos that you might enjoy. And also don't forget to like the video as well. It may seem like a pretty small thing, but it really does help with the YouTube algorithm and the channel's visibility. So thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Okay, and moving right along here to my new 4K pickups for the month. We've got a title here that I was pretty excited about. And this is a limited edition, like, chunky box, right? And you guys know I love the chunk. I'm always a big fan of the chunk, but Vinegar Syndrome put out a title that I was a little bit surprised by, but I was really excited when I found out they were putting this out. Drop Zone from 1994. Got Wesley Snipes here and the mighty Gary Busey. This is a movie I had seen maybe a couple times, but it had been a long time since I had seen it, many years. And I didn't really even remember it all that well. So in many ways, it was kind of like watching it for the first time. But it's a great film. I really enjoyed it. If you're a fan of 90s action movies, this one is a total blast. And I'll just tell you up front, the 4K restoration for this movie is off the charts. It is incredible looking. I was really surprised at just how damn good this 4K restoration came out, but it looks awesome. Definitely, I'd say a demo-worthy 4K. Maybe not quite reference quality, but there's a whole lot of depth and pop and vibrancy to the image. It just looks incredible on 4K. There are a couple visual effects shots that maybe where you can see a little bit of image quality degradation there, where maybe it doesn't look quite as good, but it's really not that many shots, and most of the film just looks amazing in 4K. So yeah, I was really impressed with how this came out. So let's look at the packaging here. This is from Vinegar Syndrome's Cinematograph label, which is, they kind of have their own little thing that they do. And I really like the Cinematograph line, or at least I like the packaging. I like what they're doing with that line in theory. But this was the first title since Red Rock West that I actually cared about. Right? I've been waiting for Vinegar Syndrome to release some titles in the Cinematograph line that I was really excited about. And when they first started that line last year, and they put out Red Rock West, I was excited about that. That was a film that that I had been in the market for and had been interested in picking up. So when I heard that Vinegar Syndrome, or the Cinematograph label, was doing a version of Red Rock West, I was pretty excited about that, and I picked it up. And then I kept waiting for more Cinematograph releases to come out that I was excited about, and they just never happened. Most of the Cinematograph releases are titles I just don't care about and am not really interested in. So when we finally got Drop Zone, I was excited. I was like, finally, Cinematograph put out something I actually do care about. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. All right, so let's take a look at the Cinematograph packaging, because I love their packaging. First off, you do get, well, let me show you the back art there. There's the back art. And honestly, that's the only thing I don't really care for with this release is the art. And I'll get into that here in just a moment. But I mean, I guess your own mileage may vary. Well, I'll just say that now. This artwork is kind of disappointing to me. Right? Vinegar Syndrome has like They have two artists in particular that they use on a shitload of their stuff. And I really wish they would stop using those artists for their releases, or at least stop using them for higher profile, like really sought after releases like this one. To me, this is a higher profile release for Vinegar Syndrome, you know, compared to some of the other stuff they usually release. This is one of their higher profile releases. So I feel like they should have done something a little extra special for the artwork and not just use the same artists that they use on all their other stuff. It's fine using these artists for, you know, their more obscure no-name movies that no one's ever heard of. But for something like Drop Zone, I want art that's going to pop a lot more. And this art just doesn't pop. It just doesn't pop for me. It looks kind of drab and dingy and kind of dreary. You know, it has this kind of muted, subdued look to it. And, well, here, compare that to what Vinegar Syndrome gave us with Roadhouse. Now, that is fucking artwork. That is awesome. When I first saw this, when they first released this, I was like, yes, I have to have that. You know, and that's what artwork on physical media releases should do, right? It should immediately catch the collector's attention and make them go, oh, I just have to have that. And I'm sorry, but that kind of artwork doesn't do that. It just doesn't do it for me anyway. I don't know. Like I said, your own mileage may vary. Maybe some of you really dig this artwork. But for me personally, I just didn't think this had any pizzazz to it. You know, this wasn't very exciting artwork to me. You know, I mean, if it's your choice, if just based on artwork alone, if you have your choice between this and this, which one are you going to pick? I mean, I think the choice is obvious that this just blows away this kind of stuff. Right. And I don't even necessarily have a problem with what they're depicting in the artwork. It's the style. It's that kind of dreary, dingy style that I just don't like the look of it. It's just not very exciting. And it doesn't make me go, oh, I have to have that. In fact, when they first announced this, I almost kind of glossed over it because I looked at the artwork and it didn't do much for me. And then I saw it was Drop Zone. I was like, oh, that's something I actually want. So, I mean, I felt like the artwork didn't really even match the title, you know, in terms of like the style of the artwork. It's I would expect a title like this to have artwork that's just a little more flashy. Again, just a little bit more pizzazz. I just wish Vinegar Syndrome would do a lot more artwork that looks like this rather than artwork that looks like this. You know, I just think this has a lot more excitement to it than what we get here. All right, enough about that. I'll quit bitching about the artwork. Let's get into the rest of the release because I really do like these editions from Cinematograph. They're very cool. So you get your hard box, knock test there, right? All right. So you get the little ribbon there, if you can see it, to allow you to pull out the media book. And it's a fabric-bound media book here. And that's what it looks like. Right? Pretty plain on the front, but that's okay. That's how these releases look. And this is like a fabric thing. And then it opens up. Let's see, you got a nice little book there. This is always hard for me to do, flip through books while I'm doing this on camera here. But I don't know what it is, maybe 60-page book, 50, 60-page book maybe, with some essays and cool photos in there. And then the discs. You get a 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc. And I'll tell you, they put a lot of thought into their releases. The guy who curates this collection at Vinegar Syndrome, Justin LaLiberty, I know from what interviews with him I've seen in the past that he has put a lot of thought into how these releases look, right down to the type of tray the discs sit in, right? And I'm going to take the discs out of the tray here briefly, just to show you what I'm talking about here. Because the tray, even the tray is cool. I don't know if you can see that. You got nice deep indentations here to get your fingers in there. It's really kind of like a matte thing in there, but no fingerprints, right? No fingerprints, and it's a smooth feel to it. I just love the way this tray is set up. It's a nice tray. It feels like a higher quality tray that is going to protect the discs better, right? The discs aren't stuck in there so tight that it's a real problem to get them out. But they're not loose either. They are definitely secure when they are in here. So I really appreciate these little things. You know, I like it when they put thought into, you know, stuff like the tray that the discs are going to sit in and what the design of that tray is going to be. So, so it's a cool release. It's a cool release. I'm just not a big fan of that artwork. Let me get my ribbon back here. I'm going to put this there. So our ribbon's there so we can get it back out next time. But, oh, and one other thing I wanted to note here, these releases are, they're numbered, right? There's only 5,000 units, I think, available of this. And it came with like a little J card there that comes out, right? But the reason I'm showing you the J card is because you got your numbered edition right there. Mine's 985 out of 5,000. So, and I don't know if you guys can actually see any of that. I'll leave it there if you want to stop it. So yeah, I just love these Cinematograph releases. They are awesome. And of course, now you know why I also picked up Passenger 57 on Blu-ray. The Wesley Snipes action here got me in the mood for some other Wesley Snipes movies. So I had to go and finally pick up Passenger 57 as well. So anyway, this is a fantastic looking 4K. Despite my complaints about the artwork, the rest of this release is awesome. And you definitely can't go wrong with the 4K restoration of this title. So I'm really glad that they released this one. And yeah, it's one I would highly recommend. If you're a fan of the film, if you're a fan of 90s action, this is one to definitely pick up and add to your collection. And then next up, I also picked up a new chunky box from Arrow Video. And I'm talking about the 1999 film Deep Blue Sea. I think this just came out about a month and a half ago. It's a fairly new release. I love my chunky boxes, right? And so, you know, I'm always a sucker for a chunky box like this. Even for a movie like this that maybe I wouldn't ordinarily buy on 4K. Maybe this is the kind of movie I would normally just get on Blu-ray. But when I saw the chunky box was available, I have to admit that was pretty damn enticing. So it was an impulse buy. It was kind of an impulse buy for me. And the funny thing is, when I bought this, I thought it was a blind buy. I didn't think I had seen this movie before, but then it turns out I actually had seen the movie. I just didn't remember it very well. But as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I have seen this. So, you know, it was fun. I had a blast with this 4K. The 4K looks fairly decent. I think it's a decent looking 4K. For the type of film that it is, you've got a lot of cool practical stuff and practical sets in the film and set pieces and effects. But there is also some pretty dated CGI in the film, and maybe that doesn't really hold up as well on 4K. The rest of the stuff looks pretty solid in 4K, but yeah, some of the CGI effects are, you know, you should not expect them to look that great in 4K when you're talking about a film this old, right? They're I guess you could consider them vintage CGI effects, right? And vintage effects are not necessarily going to play well in the modern era on 4K, you know, just due to the lower resolution that the effects were rendered at and other factors as well. So let's take a look at the box set here real quick. There is a slip cover there, and I'll show you the back there. You can even see that. I don't know how well, if you can pause that and see it or not. You get the nice box set here, just like that. We'll take everything out here. Nice, rigid, chunky box, right? And then you've got some different art there. You got your 4K edition there. And then the usual stuff, you know, you get a little poster there, which I'm not going to unfold. And then you do get a little book there on a Aquatica, right? So, and what is this? Probably, what, 60, 70 pages, something like that. So I always enjoy these chunky boxes. I always think they're fun. You know, did I really need this in a chunky box in 4K? No, I probably didn't. You know, but I enjoyed the film, and it's one I'll return to every now and then. It's probably not the kind of film that's going to have a really high rewatch value for me, but I could see myself returning to it at least probably a few more times in my lifetime. So I guess it's worth it for me. So I just love these chunky boxes, so I just had to do it, right? So yeah, great release from Arrow Video, Deep Blue Sea. Okay, and then I picked up a Batman movie that I had never seen before, and it was all because of Val Kilmer. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about Batman Forever. And I had a lot of fun with this. For a first-time watch, I thought this was a blast. And I thought Val Kilmer did a pretty good job, but I'm not going to say too much about it right now because I'm sure this is going to come up in my Val Kilmer video very, very soon, which, like I said, may be my next video. So we'll see. But yes, this was fun. I had a blast with this, and I think the 4K looks awesome. I was actually really surprised at how good this looked on 4K. Of course, you got lots of practical stuff in the film, as you would expect, but the colors are incredible on 4K. So yeah, definitely one I'd recommend. If you're a fan of this film and you don't have it on 4K yet, I think it would, I didn't own it on Blu-ray, so I can't talk about how much of an upgrade it is over Blu-ray, but I have to assume this is the best this film's ever looked on home media, because this did look damn good on 4K. So I was pleasantly surprised how good this looked on 4K. So yeah, Batman Forever. And then on the topic of Val Kilmer, I also picked up Tombstone on 4K. I was fortunate enough to be able to secure my copy before they all sold out. Apparently this steelbook is quite hard to find right now. It's pretty much sold out everywhere, I believe. Apparently there are supposed to be more coming into stock at some point, but I don't think we've seen that happen yet. And if more do come in stock on Amazon or Walmart or whatever, my recommendation would be to grab yourself a copy as soon as you notice it is back in stock, because yeah, I think Disney or Sony, I'm not sure who's making the call on this, but it seems like they're not accurately anticipating the demand for this title. I mean, this is a huge title. It should be a no-brainer that collectors all over the world are going to want to get their hands on this. But for some reason, they only did like a limited run of steelbooks and have not made this more widely available. Like, there's no standard edition, and apparently there's not going to be a standard edition, at least according to James over at In Search of Physical Media. He indicated his sources at Disney or whatever had told him that there's not going to be a standard edition 4K release of this, which I think is dumb. Why wouldn't they do that? I mean, it almost seems like they don't really want to make money off of this release. I mean, why would you go to the trouble of restoring this movie in 4K and then only make it available to a limited number of collectors? That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. So hopefully they're going to rethink their protocol here with these releases and grow a brain in terms of being able to understand what collectors want and what that collector demand actually is. Anyway, I have not had a chance to watch the new 4K yet. I've never seen this film. Believe it or not, I've never seen Tombstone, but it's one of those films, and the main reason is just because I've never been a big fan of Westerns, right? I mean, I can handle a Western from time to time. There have been exceptions, certain Westerns I liked, but typically I've never really gravitated toward that genre of movies, so that's why I just never got around to watching Tombstone. So I'm curious to see what I think of this. I'll be watching this tonight, and I'm looking forward to watching it just because I love the cast. Kurt Russell, another all-time favorite actor of mine. Of course, Val Kilmer in this. Michael Biehn, who I love, as well as Bill Paxton. And in fact, I've kind of informally been collecting Michael Biehn movies and Bill Paxton movies kind of on the side over here, right? So that's one of the main reasons I had to have this in my collection, And then, of course, collecting Kurt Russell movies as well. And then, of course, we got the Val Kilmer tribute coming. So I just had to have this in my collection. And I do think it's a cool looking steelbook. I'll show you the image there. It's got that kind of metallic look to it here. And there's the back. I think it's a nice looking steelbook. I do like the steelbook. So, I think they did a good job with it. I don't have a problem with their steelbook. I just wish they had also released a standard edition for those who would prefer the standard edition. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to checking this one out tonight and seeing what all the hype is about. So yeah, Tombstone on 4K. All right, and then I also picked up Sneakers on 4K from Kino Lorber, 1992 film here starring Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, River Phoenix. It's a great cast. It's a fun film, and it's a heist film, right? I consider it a heist film. They're not stealing money though. It's a different kind of heist film. But if you've never seen it, it's a whole lot of fun. Now, admittedly, some of the tech used in this movie is pretty quaint and dated, right? So what they're treating as cutting edge technology in this film is not really cutting edge anymore. But it's still a fun film, and it's just a blast to watch. Now, this is a movie that has been a comfort movie of mine for many, many years. I used to watch it in the 90s all the time, and then I kind of took a break from it, and I hadn't seen the film prior to watching this 4K. I don't think I had seen the film for like maybe 15 years, or maybe more, maybe a little less, somewhere in that neighborhood. It had been a long time since I'd seen this film. In fact, when I first got back into collecting about 4 or 5 years ago, I actually bought a Blu-ray copy of this because I knew it was a film that I wanted to have in my collection. But I had still never watched my Blu-ray copy, like, since owning it, right? I've seen the film a whole bunch of times, but I had never watched my Blu-ray copy. And then, sure enough, we get a 4K release. So I guess I don't really need the Blu-ray anymore now, do I? But it looks great in 4K. I thought it looked good in 4K. I mean, this really isn't the kind of film that lends itself well to 4K. It's a pretty straightforward film just in terms of how it's shot. It's actually pretty plain just in terms of how the film is made, the aesthetics of the film. It's not a particularly colorful film. It's more about the story than the way the film looks or the aesthetics of the film. So this isn't the kind of 4K I would call a reference 4K disc by any stretch, but it does look good for what it is. You do get a pretty filmic look to this one. There's a healthy amount of grain visible, which I don't think, I mean, that's not a bad thing to me personally. I think it looks nice. It's got this nice warm look to it. But not everybody likes grain. I don't think there's so much grain that it's like distracting or anything, but it does have a nice filmic, cinematic look to it. Anyway, this is a great film. If you've never seen Sneakers, I would definitely recommend this one. And I'm glad I got this one on 4K. It's a decent looking 4K for the type of film that it is. It's not like mind-blowing, demo-worthy or anything like that, but it is probably the best this film has ever looked on home media. And I really enjoyed watching this one the other night. So yeah, Sneakers. And then finally, my last 4K of the day here, also from Kino Lorber. I picked up No Way Out, Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman. I gotta say, this is a film that I had seen like once, many, many years ago, but I didn't remember it at all. And of course, I was preparing for my Gene Hackman video, so I wanted to watch this one before I made that video. And I didn't own it in my collection, so I figured, I'll go ahead and pick up the 4K, right? Because I love watching movies on 4K for the first time if it's a movie that I've either never seen before or one like this that I have seen it, but it's been so long I don't even really remember it. Anyway, so if I'm being honest, I gotta say, this movie was kind of a disappointment to me. I thought I would like the movie more than I did. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was, it was mildly entertaining, but it just wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. And likewise, I wasn't really blown away by the 4K either. I didn't think the 4K was like that amazing looking, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just, I don't know if this particular film really lends itself well to 4K. And like having seen it now, like if I had to do it over again, I'd probably just buy this on Blu-ray if I was going to add it to my collection at all, right? But I don't think I would buy this 4K if I had it to do over again because it just wasn't that impressive of a 4K, at least not to me. Yeah, so that's my last pickup. Probably one of the more disappointing pickups of the entire month for me. So yeah, not much more to really say about that. No Way Out on 4K for my final title today. Okay, so that about wraps it up for this month's collection update. Let me know what you think of the titles I picked up in the comments section below. And let me know what you guys picked up over the last month. If you've got any notable titles that you'd like to mention. I always like to see what you guys are watching as well, what you guys are buying as well. I always enjoy chatting with you and interacting with you in the comments, so make sure you leave me some feedback down below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.